I've had enough snow for this year. I think we've had our share. I'm ready for spring and summer to come on.
Orioles on Deck is being brought to you in part by Beck's Beer. Beck's, the most famous German word in the English language. And by Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile quality. Feel it at your nearest Oldsmobile dealer.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's cloudy. It's a little bit sunny sometimes. It's a little windy. It's pretty cold. But guess what? The boys of summer have returned to 33rd Street. Good afternoon. I'm Ken Matz.
I'm Beverly Burke, and welcome to opening day at Memorial Stadium. And it is a beautiful afternoon, in spite of this morning's snow. And I woke up.
Let's hope that they get this one in, because yesterday down in Washington, D.C., they had a game at RFK Stadium that they had to call at the end of 5 innings. And I think a lot of people, including the players and especially the fans, were very disappointed. But
yes.
I think this one's going to go. The field is in pretty good condition. Of course, the infield has been covered. The outfield, they say, is a little bit wet, but I think we're going to have a really good day right here at Memorial Stadium. And guess what?
What?
They have Orioles jackets for us, and they've just arrived.
And they've just
good timing,
huh?
Time,
yes.
Thank you, Gary Wordlaw.
I came pretty prepared too. You know, I've been spying on some of the people who are filing in with the binoculars
you
here.
had your
We're
lens
checking them
caps
out.
on earlier. But,
yes, I had to take that off, make sure I could see everything. But you know, I've been really excited about this after watching all the spring training going on and the daily reports we've had on
I was
progress.
down at spring training for a weekend, and it was fabulous down
Wasn't
there.
it nice
These
there?
guys are fired up, and I think you're going to see, despite what some people say, a different Orioles team this year. I think the pitching's going to come along. The hitting has always been there, and you're going to see some excitement down here at 33rd Street.
I think a lot of that excitement will happen in the infield, where we're going to see maybe some quicker movement and getting those singles only to first base.
Let's hope so.
Really. By the way, I have a present for you.
You do?
First of all, I want to offer you your baseball cards. And there's gum in here. There's bubble gum, so you can be right in step.
You know, I have a 12-year-old son, and I have 10,000 of these at home, but I thank you very much. I really needed another pack.
I'm starting my stack of baseball cards, and so I'm ready to trade, Ken.
Oh, you are? Well,
yes,
goodness knows
am.
there might be somebody in here that we need, too.
That I really want to.
That you... How do you mean that?
Yes, and listen, you know how excited we get as fans, you know, and the shouting and screaming and everything. But I want you to save your voice because, you know, you have to do the news this afternoon,
This
okay?
is true, yes.
So I brought you an official whistle. Okay, this is an Orioles whistle, so that whenever the screaming gets to be a bit much for your throat, you can blow on this when you get really excited.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. I promise
I'll try
I'll
it later because it'll drive our sound people crazy.
Oh yes, try it later.
Phillips, please. Let's talk.
Well, now I tell you one thing that we're very happy about. The sun came peeking out. I brought my glasses out just to be just in case.
Optimistic.
But you know, and that has to do with Ken Phillips. I'm so glad that you're here, Ken, because obviously the sun came out because you are here. What is our forecast like for today?
Just as we hit the air, the sun did come out and warmed up. Felt very nice.
It did, and then it went away.
You were very optimistic just a few seconds ago about we're going to have a wonderful day. I still see rain and possibly some more snow before the afternoon is over, and again later tonight.
Can't you make it isolated and isolate it somewhere else?
It is going to be isolated, but it could be isolated right over here,
no.
the way things are going. But aside from that, a little chill in the air, it's not going to be too bad. Nothing to shovel, as I always say.
That's good.
And anything that happens will be short-lived. It'll be gone in a hurry, as the sun just disappeared that quickly. So not bad, all in all.
You know, I was looking through the media guide that we got here, and I did not see any statistics about possibilities of rainouts on opening day. I don't think it's happened. But I can tell you this, that in years that the president has come out to throw out the first ball, we're 0-4. So, and we don't have any advance word that he's coming today, but if he doesn't come and they win, I don't know, something probably.
We do
could
know
be
the
said
governor
about
is going
that.
to be here, and Mayor Burns is going to be here. He's going to be making a special presentation.
That's right. And
Yes.
he will throw out the first ball as way, or yes, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll,
Well, we
we'll
have
go
the
along.
entire news team here, and we're going to
We
be
do.
taking you all around the stadium in different aspects just to show you exactly how far spread out we are, where our news team is. In fact, the next person we're going to right now is our own Susan White Bowden. Where is Susan?
I think she's along the baseline.
Look at Jones Falls.
Water, water everywhere, and many drops to dry. Water on the field, water on the ramps, all making for a tough morning for the people who have to make the stadium ready.
Good day for the Ducks. That's all.
The weather also had the Orioles switchboard busy with the question of the day.
Well, Baltimore Orioles, the game is still on.
Under that assumption, manager Cal Ripken was in his office early, and the equipment manager was busy getting clean, bright uniforms ready for the players. Outside, the stadium itself was getting all dressed up, each column getting a banner.
31 altogether, had 16 with the banners, and we got 15 of these.
What do you think? Starting to look proud of your work?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
An expected full house of hungry people had the concessionaires busy, too.
Have to set up the beer portables, have to set up the stands up in the lower deck. I ain't done yet. Still got a long way to go before it's really set up.
So it looks like the stadium will be ready at game time. But one thing everyone's saying here today, it doesn't seem to make much sense at all to come all the way up from Florida to play baseball in this kind of weather. At Memorial Stadium, Brad Bell, Channel 2 News.
We're there in Section 39 this year because quite a few baby birds were born over the winter. The McGregors have a new baby and the Flanagans have a new baby. And we visited with a couple of families, starting off with Lisa Boddicker, seeing her family and what it's like to live with a Major League Baseball player. You don't have to be a baseball fan to appreciate the good looks and winning ways of Mike Boddicker. His friendly, relaxed style, perhaps the result of his upbringing in Norway, Iowa. Off the baseball field, he is the handsome head of a picture-perfect family. His wife, Lisa, pretty enough and slim enough to be a model. Down home enough to be void of pretentious Major League airs. They have 2 children, a boy 4 who looks like him, a girl 2 who looks like her. Lisa is a wife who cherishes the precious little time she has with her husband all to herself.
We share a lot of the same interests. It's a little tougher now with the children, but we really don't get away except when in the off season. Went on our first vacation this last season. We don't really get to go too much, but we both like to fish, and we play a lot of basketball in the winter and some racquetball and tennis, and we're always busy.
Being married to a baseball player is not easy because during the long season and during spring training, the responsibility of raising the children rests squarely on the mother's shoulders.
I think that the important thing is I try so hard just to keep the home stable for them. Because with Dad always leaving, I feel like I have to be the strong force. But yeah, I do. You feel like you have to be both Mom and Dad. And as long as you know that, I think you can keep everything in perspective. And we do fine. Sometimes it's hard, but when they're little, I don't think it's quite as bad maybe as when they get older.
Lisa Boddicker has also learned to put Mike's pitching and playing in perspective, knowing that every game can't be a no-hitter or an exciting win in the playoffs or World Series. However, as a new season begins, Lisa, like Mike, like the rest of the Oriole team, like all the fans, can't help but get excited and be optimistic.
Well, I really felt at the beginning of spring training that we're really going to have a good team. I think we'll be up there. I think we'll be contenders. I'm hoping that it'll be close. It's a lot more fun.
For everyone.
That's exactly right.
This will be the first season for 2-month-old Candace Wiggins, born February 14th, Valentine's Day. Her mother calls her the new heart of the Wiggins family, a family that hopes this is going to be a super year for their favorite Oriole, Alan Wiggins. There's his wife, Angela, their 4-year-old daughter, Cassandra, Alan Jr., a year and a half, and baby Candy. Alan and Angie were high school sweethearts and married when Alan was signed with the San Diego Padres. They came to Baltimore last year, and this was the family's first Christmas on the East Coast.
It was a change, but I think it was for the better.
Really?
I love Christmas, and Christmas here, it was colder. I got the chance to wear a coat. Got a new fox for Christmas. So.
Angie says that the advantage of being the wife of a Major League Baseball player is not having to worry about where the next dollar is coming from. But the disadvantage is not knowing how long that will last. She says she thinks baseball wives are perhaps stronger and more independent than most women, more secure about themselves as people.
Yes, I do. I feel that you have to be strong for the simple fact is that you don't know. And sometimes they get weak. They have a bad game. You have to be their strength to cheer them up and to boost them up and to encourage them. And I feel a good player that's married, he has a strong wife behind him that's backing him. And me and Alan, we've been through a lot, ups and downs, or whatever, but I can truly say that I was his strength, and the times when I was down, he was my strength.
Angie also says that her children are her best friends, that she likes to do things with them, and that's a comfort when Dad's away. Brooks Robinson joins me now. We've had many conversations about this, and Brooks has told me over the years that he has always given Connie credit for the success of your 4 children because you were away so much.
Well, that's true. I think, Susan, most of all, there's a lot of things to be done, and I know there's many times that Connie would have loved to have called me on the road and said, "Hal, hon, one of the children cut his arm or did this or did that," but I think she refrained from doing that until I got home, and then maybe I could take care of it. But it takes a strong woman to do the things, to run the household, to take care of the kids, and I do say that when we had 3 in diapers at one time, so that kept my wife pretty busy.
How do the wives of baseball players come by this? Is there a philosophy that is passed on from one to another that you just have to kind of dig your fingernails into the palms of your hands and let Dad alone while he's away so he can concentrate on the game?
Oh, I think so. I think that, that in the long run, I know that helped me tremendously, knowing that when I was away, I was concentrating on playing. But it's almost the player has to be able to perform that little dual role, when he gets home and be a father too. But having a wife there to take care of the things that have to be done that you should be doing is a big plus. And I think that when you first get married, I think it is handed down because you realize by talking to the other wives that, hey, this is the way it's going to be. Brooks is going to be away. We play 6 months. We're away 3 months. You're going to have a lot of road trips. They get used to picking up, going someplace, being there for a while. So, in fact, looking back on my career, I mean, I was very fortunate to have played here my whole career, so it wasn't as tough on Connie as it was on some of the other wives who have to move around from Baltimore to the minor leagues or back to another town.
And it's awful nice when you come home, isn't it?
It sure is. Oh, listen, those road trips is what kept me together for 26 years. Are you kidding?
It's wonderful. We love you, Brooks. Thank you. A new season with Brooks Robinson right there by our sides. We're going to continue.
Of course, was the big story down at spring training. It was an exciting camp. It had a lot to offer. Let's take a look at Camp Cal.
Start of the exercises. I think that they've really put everything into it. They've gone about the job correctly. I know that
As expected, Cal Sr. remains optimistic on the eve of the '87 season. His first spring training as the boss is over, and make no mistake about it, he is indeed the boss.
we have to have some patience. And I think that I've had patience with the ball club all the way around, because we know that we're trying to accomplish things. And you have to go out and do certain things out here in spring training that maybe sometimes you don't want to do, but you have to do them in order to get the ball club ready to go during the season.
Regardless how this club breaks from the gate, Rip all but guarantees that they'll play with more intensity. The Orioles have worked hard this spring and are leaving Miami with a clean slate, dirty uniforms, and a new attitude.
Well, I think it was one of the best camps, I would say, since 1983, in the fact that the enthusiasm was back. 83, we came in after the 82 season of not making it on the last day with a determination, which I've seen again this spring.
I've been very pleased with the way we've come in here and operated in the camp. All of our players have come in. We talked about the attitude, the frame of mind, and we wanted to come out on the field and we wanted to do things right.
I have great respect for Cal Ripken already. I mean, he is a solid man. Not only manager, but just a solid man. And Cal Ripken Jr. and Billy Jr. are from good stock, as they say. I really am going to enjoy being here because he's easy to play for. All he wants you to do is go out and bust your tail.
Rip can only hope that the new attitude carries over to the field. Still, he's taking no chances. He's pushing his team to run more, take the extra base. In short, he wants the team to be on the attack.
Last year, everyone kind of got the feeling that Earl really wasn't in the managing. You know, Cal is the ultimate Oriole. He lives baseball. This is his game. We know that he wants to win. Everybody wants to win for him. And I think if there's a difference in attitudes, we know that he cares and he'll do everything he can to win, and that's the difference.
He's not real loud and doesn't go around up and down the dugout ranting and raving a whole lot, but he does insist that we do the fundamental things right, which is how teams win ball games.
There's no question that the new manager is making his mark. With Cal, it's all business. He cut his son Billy last month. For Dad, it was just part of the job. For Billy, it was back to the minors, where he'll miss tomorrow's opening day celebration. Just have to leave that to the rest of the Ripken clan.
You know, I don't think there's any job that's fantasized about more often by young men growing up than the job of being a major league ball player. I mean, this is a dream office, a dugout, a ballpark. And what could be better than to grow up in a baseball family? And is there any family in America that is clearly more a baseball family than the Ripkens? Dad, Cal Sr., 31 years in the Orioles organization, now the manager. Oldest son, Cal Jr., one of the game's authentic superstars, a rare father-son combination in the majors. And youngest son, Billy, a hot prospect in the Birds chain who's clearly destined to play alongside his brother in the near future. But there is another Ripken son who early on said, baseball is not for me. Fred Ripken is 25, and according to some, the best athlete in the family. Yet Fred has chosen a career that is a long ways from ballparks. He's parlayed his love of bikes into an occupation as a skilled motorcycle mechanic.
And that was probably around age 10 that I was tearing everything up on the bicycle, which got my interest started. I forget when I got my first mini bike. You know, I don't remember when that was, but I bought an awful lot of pieces of junk. And of which making them run, I guess that's what got me interested in fixing them.
Fred did play soccer for me in the winter season, and Fred was very talented. I know that he had what we call in the game, I guess, a lot of natural ability. You could snap the ankle into a ball and kick it well. You could wrist the ball, you could throw it well. You could take the bat and pop the bat out there and swing the bat well. The thing he lacked was evidently the desire to really go out and work at that and become a ball player. He enjoyed playing, but he didn't enjoy it as far as a daily grind was concerned. He went out for the high school team, and I knew that wasn't going to last very long because he said, I can be home working on my motorcycle rather than standing around here in the outfield. So his interest was in motorcycles, and he's a pretty good motorcycle mechanic.
Fred and Cal Jr. are just a year apart. They grew up competing against each other in just about every sport or game. Natural for brothers in a close family.
We'd play one-on-one basketball after school. He'd beat me, and I'd make sure I got there so I could practice 3 hours, you know, and it made me happy just to beat him once. He beat me the next 15 games, but I beat him once. He'd get mad, and he'd win again. One-on-one, though, he's just hard to beat. He's quite... His hand-eye coordination is exceptional. You know, he can go bowling. I've never been bowling, you know, in 5 years or so, and he'll wind up beating you when you bowl every night. It makes you mad. You don't want to play against him.
Fred has been married to his childhood sweetheart, Tina, for 3 years. They have an 18-month-old daughter. And Tina says she knew from day one that baseball wasn't Fred's life.
So you knew that he was going to choose another occupation?
He was doing motorcycles when I met him. Yeah. Riding the bikes, riding the bicycle. He used to tear around the neighborhood on this little red bike. No, not baseball for him.
Fred Ripken, the brother who decided against baseball, also gives some insight on the side of professional baseball that isn't all glamour. The side of baseball he saw up close and personal growing up as a son of a minor league manager and coach. The side that made him think twice about a major league career.
They're never at home. You know, they're at home half the year. Excuse me. They're on the road half the year, and even when they're home, particularly if you're making it in the limelight, you lose a lot of your privacy. And I like to stay fairly private. I don't enjoy going out, where I've got people all around me, even people I don't know, But Calvin, for instance, anywhere he goes, everybody knows him, and I don't like that. You make it to the major leagues, sure, you can afford, to have them stay someplace, but you're still away from them. I'd rather be at home.
So Fred Ripken says he'll make it to the ballpark 5 or 6 times this year, and he'll cheer from here in the stands, just like any other fan. Then he'll head home to make a living, back at the shop.
It changes in 2 other important areas, in the stands with their official song and in your souvenir collection with their official yearbook. Let's look first at the 7th inning stretch. For what seems like forever, there was John Denver. Every 7th inning since 1975, in winning years and slumps, in the World Series and the Second Division, Denver sang, and we clapped and stretched. Well, even though most fans didn't live on the farm, or rise early, or wear bib overalls, we all seemed to like the song, and the O's kept winning. But last year, both those things changed.
Just take them old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. The days of music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll.
Folks liked Dempsey's singing even better than catching, so that song might have had a long and successful run here, but Dempsey's run ran out, so the authorities decided keeping his music might be inappropriate. A new song was called for, and starting today, 7 innings from now, here's what it will be.
It should be one that, should be pretty popular.
That's Charles Steinberg, the O's music meister, and he has a very clear idea of what a song should be for the fans.
I think it should be a refreshment for them. It should be a time when you can kind of stand up and let loose and get into it and play some, good music to clap your hands and stamp your feet to, and to kind of just let it all hang out.
That's a lot to ask, even of the Beatles, but if they can't succeed, then this really is a tough division. The song will play until fans call for a change, or unless, by chance and heaven forfend, the O's lose their first dozen games and decide it's bad luck. Now, while you're saying goodbye to John Denver and Rick Dempsey, you can also say goodbye to your yearbook. From now on, there will not be a printed yearbook, but instead, for 1995, the O's will be selling a video yearbook.
Managing the Orioles is a man who knows this organization as well as he knows his own name, Cal Ripken Sr., the new skipper. He's been an Oriole for some 30 years.
When you meet Terry Kennedy on videotape and Ray Knight, you get to know them a little bit better. They're new players. We welcome them. I think everybody's enthusiastic. You hear them talk, you feel like you know them. You feel a little bit closer to the players. When you hear Ken Gerhardt's Tennessee drawl, you feel like you can, understand who he is a little bit better.
But the question is still whether he can hit the low slider, and whether people who collect yearbooks won't miss the 1987 edition.
Future.
Although today is the beginning of a new baseball season, it's the beginning of the end for Memorial Stadium. It was built on the site of the old municipal stadium where the minor league Orioles played. Construction began in 1949, then was delayed by a lack of funds, but resumed in 1953, when it was announced that Baltimore was getting a major league team for the first time in 52 years. In 1954, as opening day approached, fans lined up in the cold to buy tickets at a Memorial Stadium so new it still wasn't finished. Cement was still being poured and the bleachers were still being installed as workmen rushed to meet the deadline. but it still wasn't quite finished on opening day, April 15, 1954. Bunting hung from the exposed girders, but the seats were installed and the playing field was ready, and so was the old Gunther Beer scoreboard. The new home for the new Orioles, who arrived by train at Penn Station, a not-so-new group of relocated St. Louis Browns and assorted cast-offs. But now they were Orioles, and they were ours. 300,000 people lined the parade route to welcome their new team. For most of Baltimore, it was a holiday with schools and businesses closed. The Orioles' first manager, Jimmy Dykes, and the players rode to Memorial Stadium in open cars. And even a sudden rainstorm couldn't dampen the enthusiasm that filled the stadium that day. Vice President Richard Nixon was among the 46,000 fans. And for you trivia buffs, the first Oriole to hit a home run did it that first opening day, into the right field bleachers. It was catcher Clint Courtney. And with Bailey Goss reporting play-by-play, pitcher Bob Turley struck out 9 batters as the Orioles beat the White Sox 3-1. The rest of the season didn't go quite as well, but no one seemed to mind. In 1973, just 19 years after Memorial Stadium went up, people were already talking about tearing it down. The Orioles and Colts wanted a new stadium, and there was fear the teams would move if they didn't get it. Camden Yards then, as now, was the planned site for the new stadium, a domed stadium with dog racing to provide additional revenue, but it was blocked, and everyone stayed with Memorial Stadium, until 1984 when the Colts did leave, renewing fears that the Orioles might leave too. So now, twin stadia, one for baseball and one for football, similar to this complex in Kansas City, apparently will be built at Camden Yards, and Memorial Stadium will eventually be torn down.
I think it's a shame. It's been a nice stadium to us for a lot of years, a lot of tradition there.
It will attract more business with another stadium, but it's sad to see like an old friend go.
Just the fact of all the years of seeing Brooks Robinson and Jim Palmer pitch here, and all the other terrific Colts and Oriole players that were part of the city. And I really hate to see them build the stadiums downtown.
Memorial Stadium will look like this again when they begin tearing it down, which will cost about $15 million. It only cost $6.5 million to build it in 1954. And many critics claim that if we had spent more then, Memorial Stadium would not have become obsolete so fast. But the memories housed here will never become obsolete. At Memorial Stadium, I'm Jack Bowden, Channel 2 News.
You know, we take a look at how he made it to the big time.
Hi there. I'm on my way, I'm making it. I've got to make it show, yeah. So much larger than life. I'm gonna watch it grow with I'm on my way.
And the introduction of the players, the starting lineup compared to last year is not too different. As we join the announcer right now, I think they've almost completed it. Let's
listen in and see what they're saying.
A hard-throwing right-hander from Monroe, Virginia, and the Orioles' probable starter against the Rangers here Thursday night, number 39, Ken Dixon. Welcome now, the Orioles' 1986 most valuable player, who set a club record with 34 saves, number 41, reliever Don Ossig. Currently on the disabled list with a hand injury, number 43, outfielder Mike Young. Another newcomer for the young man who won 17 games in the Orioles organization last year, number 45, rookie left-hander Eric Bell. Now a left-hander who is tied with Scotty McGregor for 4th place on the Orioles all-time wins list, number 46, the pride of Manchester, New Hampshire and Baltimore, Maryland, Mike Flanagan. A young man out of the University of Texas, number 57, right-hander Tony Arnold. And here's a youngster who is wearing the highest number in the major leagues today. Number 88, rookie infielder Rene Gonzalez. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special moment for all of you, and it's a special moment for me, too. And I'm sure it's a very special moment for the man I introduced and all the members of his family. This is the first time I've had the privilege to say, Baltimore, welcome your new manager, number 7, Cal Ripken. Introduction. He doesn't miss being one of the outstanding hitters in the league. Number 18, Oriole outfielder, first baseman, designated hitter, Larry Sheets. Now the Orioles starting lineup. Leadoff batter, the Orioles' hottest hitter in spring training, the designated hitter, number 2, Alan Wiggins. Batting second, a man who has made a remarkable comeback from an injury through, well, sheer courage and desire. And a man who gives you everything he's got all of the time. Welcome, please, number 17, second baseman Rick Burleson. We all know who's in that third position, hasn't missed an inning of an Orioles game since June of 1982. Number 8, shortstop Cal Ripken Jr. Cleanup hitter, one of the Orioles' all-time greats already, still a young man, number 33, first baseman Eddie Murray. Batting in the number 5 position, one of baseball's finest all-around players, number 19, center fielder Fred Lynn. The The number 6 hitter is making his official Orioles debut today. We all heard a lot about him last fall when he won the World Series Most Valuable Player Award with the New York Mets. Number 25, third baseman Ray Knight. Batting 7, still another newcomer, and a man whose daddy played here 32 years ago. Welcome to Baltimore, number 15, catcher Terry Kennedy. In the number 8 position in the batting order, right fielder, veteran, number 37, John Shelby. And in the number 9 position, a rookie who hit 28 home runs at Rochester last year. Welcome, left fielder Ken Gerhardt. And down in the left field bullpen, getting ready for his first opening day start in the major leagues, a right-hander who has truly earned the honor, number 52, Mike Boddicker. We now ask that all of the men here in uniform remain standing for a very special tribute to an event of mammoth importance, an event that occurred in April 1947. Yes, this month represents the 40th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's debut with the Brooklyn Dodgers as the first black to play Major League Baseball. Jackie's accomplishments have reached far beyond baseball. He was a man who stirred the soul of his generation and those that have followed. He is being honored today for the leadership and the courage he gave to the civil rights movement, with the hope that his massive contributions both to baseball and to our society will never be forgotten. We now direct your attention to the second base area and to Baltimore City Mayor Clarence Du Burns, longtime Baltimore Afro-American sports editor and a very close friend of Jackie's, Mr. Sam Lacey, and the Orioles public address announcer Rex Varney, a former Dodger pitcher and teammate of Jackie's, and the Orioles' own Frank Robinson and Eddie Murray. It is significant to note that Sam Lacey roomed with Jackie during those tumultuous years in the big leagues. In his memory and in honor of his lasting legacy, the 1987 baseball season will be dedicated to Jackie Robinson. All 26 Major League clubs, all 26 Major League clubs will recognize Jackie at their home openers by displaying the two symbols most closely associated with him, second base and the number...
Well, I tell you, we've had so much fun, but the best part is about to come.
I think you're right. Chuck Thompson has just announced the starting lineups. We've seen the players. We've seen all the big build-up. Now it's time for you and me to go in there and see if there's any seats left to see this.
Yes, I know. We want to thank our